now is Texas Congressman Tony Gonzales. He represents over 800 miles of the U.S.-Mexico border. And Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Good morning, Maria.
So what do you think? Is Joe Biden's administration going to reinstate Remain in Mexico? I know that a federal judge has told them they have to reinstate this plan. But when I speak with my border sources on the ground at the U.S.-Mexico border, they tell me he doesn't want to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not expecting him to do it. They think he's going to continue to blow off the law. What do you think?
I think it's good news that the Biden administration is finally looking at the Trump Remain in Mexico policy that worked. I think that's a good step in the right direction. This is also about House leadership, House Republican leadership. Under Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise, the House Republicans have pushed hard on this Remain in Mexico policy, but we can't stop now. You know, we got to make sure that they do roll it out. You know, we've had over 100 members of our caucus go to the border. You yourself were at the border to see it firsthand. We need to bring Democrats to the border to see it as well. The Remain in Mexico policy is only the start of many policies that worked under the Trump administration that need to get reinstated.
Yeah, so it sounds like you think that the administration will, in fact, do this. They will reinstate this Trump-era policy.
I do think they do. I think they'll do it because they have to do it. You know, just in Del Rio,
yeah, right.
I was on a call yesterday with the Del Rio Border Patrol sector chief, and he told me that they're having 1,000 apprehensions a day. So while we're not seeing the tens of thousands Haitians under the bridge like we did, nothing has changed. So they are going to have to do something. The Remain in Mexico policy is a good start.
Well, it's an extraordinary situation. Myself and my team have now been to El Paso, McAllen, and Del Rio. We went to the border 3 times, and every time we went, we saw it getting worse and worse. Congressman, you are introducing a bill that would help reimburse farmers for damage done to their property from illegal migrants. I spoke with ranchers during my trip to the border back in October, and I heard firsthand their emotional experience with migrants on their property. Watch this. I want to get your reaction. How do you protect yourself?
I have to carry a gun all the time.
Is there anything you want to say to President Biden right now?
It's bull and deer.
We understand that there's people coming in that want a better life, but there's a better way to do it than the way that it's happening down here. And we shouldn't be afraid in our own homes. We live in the United States of America.
Congressman, I don't know if you saw this, but this is a couple that I spoke with on their ranch. A big guy, he starts crying in the middle of the interview, telling me that he can't even throw out the garbage without holding his pistol. They are getting damage done to their property most days during the week, and it's all the gotaways. These are not people who are apprehended. These are people who got away. They get to strangers' ranches, and they just do what they want on the ranches until they get a getaway car to go into Houston and beyond.
Yeah, John Paul Schuster, that gentleman in your clip, is a farmer and rancher there in that area, and sadly, farmers and ranchers have just have had to take the bulk of this crisis. You know, they're seeing water lines getting cut that have to get replaced, fences destroyed, not to mention the safety part of it. You know, having to carry a gun around just because you don't feel safe in your own home. I'm excited. You know, my colleague Stephanie Bice from Oklahoma and I introduced this piece of legislation. You know, Ralph Norman from South Carolina is leading up the border task force, Border Patrol or Border Security Task Force. So we're going to be rolling out more legislative solutions. The bottom line is the House Republicans have led on this issue, and we will continue to lead on this issue because everyday people like John Paul Schuster, everyday ranchers and farmers need help, and you've seen it firsthand.
By the way, Congressman, I was told, I spoke with one of my border sources yesterday, and he told me that there are 400,000 new people in Houston because that's their first stop. They get a getaway car because they get these ads advertising on TikTok and other social media sites looking for a getaway car. They get the getaway car, and that person drives them to Houston. And the biggest business in Houston right now are fake documents. They're just having huge money-making opportunities, making fake documents for these illegals. Is Houston feeling very different to you right now? Have you been to Houston recently?
It is, and you know what? It is, and it's not only Houston; it's Dallas, San Antonio as well.
Wow.
El Paso has also been sucked up into this chaos. What you're seeing is the cartel has expanded beyond its borders and is now going to these urban areas, and they're recruiting folks
Wow.
to help with the human smuggling. You know, you were in Uvalde when you made that trip, just past Uvalde, or just south of Uvalde. It's a little town called Dehennis. When I was out there a couple weeks ago, kind of making my way through, I stopped at a gas station to get gas, and there was a person next to me with tattoos up and down all over his face and his body. And this is a small little town in Texas. This guy clearly was not from there. That's what these towns are having to deal with every day, and it's scary.
I know that's one of the telltale signs of some of the cartel members. They have tattoos all over their face and all over their bodies. It's a generalization. It really is. But at the same time, we know that that is indicative of the cartels. And the biggest cartel that's operating right now in that area, I believe, is the Gulf Cartel. Anyway, we've got a lot to say about this. Tony Gonzales, thanks very much for your efforts.